Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Monday, December 24th, 2012. This is my second to the last video for the year. Today we're going to discuss eBay and PayPal in 2012 and 2013. And as always, before we start anything new, I'd like to discuss your comments from the video I made on Friday. And just to remind you what video that was the one where we talked a lot about bad eBay sellers, how some of them are violating eBay procedures and things like that. And we also discussed a lot about PayPal, and I told you guys how I felt PayPal had improved in the year 2012. As usual, 99% of the comments you guys left were positive and had good things to say about me and my efforts, and I thank you guys for it. However, the nature of this show dictates that I really need to address the negative comments, because although a lot of you would say something like, Joe, I've been watching your Crazy New York Driver Show for years and it's really helped me on PayPal and on eBay and I've learned a lot, and I thank you guys for saying that and I do appreciate it. I don't like to talk about those type comments because those comments basically are upselling myself and it makes it look like I'm bragging. And I'm not like that, and this show is not about me. This show is about you and problems you've encountered and problems I've encountered. So I'm sure you understand that. That's why I like to address the negative comments. Because some of the negative comments actually have basis in fact. People come up with stories that I'm not aware of. For instance, last week I showed you that one bad eBay seller that had over 800 negative feedbacks. I thank that guy for telling me about that. We need that. I want you guys to tell me anytime you have a bad experience, but the important thing is, guys, substantiate it. In my last video, I had about 3 or 4 people that were unhappy with something I said, and that was about PayPal, where I said PayPal had improved in 2012, in my opinion. And they, of course, strongly disagreed, and that's their right, and they're entitled. And I welcome their comments, as long as they don't attack me personally. But I would like to address their comments now in detail. There was 3 or 4 of them, and they were quite vocal. And they all basically said the same thing. They said, Joe, I feel PayPal is no better than it used to be. It may even be worse. They always take the buyer's side. And the only reason you're getting special treatment is because you have exposure on YouTube. Now, I want to address all of that. They're right about one thing. eBay and PayPal do take the buyer's side. I'm not going to argue with you, okay? They've always done that. Keep in mind, a buyer and a scammer are 2 different things. And they really need to be looked at on a case-by-case basis. So if a buyer gets the item and says, I'm not happy with it, it's not as described, they shouldn't automatically rule in the buyer's favor. I'm with you on that. It's on a case-by-case basis. Each one should be looked at. Okay? There are a lot of scammer bidders out there. And I'm on your side. We got to get rid of them. There's also scammer sellers. One of you wrote in a really good story. And I'll tell you what upsets me. And I'm not disrespecting anybody, but this is something that concerns me. Please, when you're going to tell me a story about how you got scammed, that's great. I want to hear it, but I need you to substantiate it. Now let me make this clear. In the past, I have come on, if you check my last 3 or 4 videos, where I substantiate claims I've had where I've been dicked over. How many times have you seen me with this sheet of paper out here? Remember this clown who has 2 eBay accounts, bid on my same item with both accounts and didn't pay for either one? Alright? Remember this clown, the most illiterate eBayer still on eBay who doesn't know how to read a quantity auction? My point is, I have substantiated my claims. This is factual. Now, I want to hear about your stuff, but I need you to substantiate it. One person wrote to me the other night, and we had a nice little thread going, and he came up with an interesting scenario He didn't substantiate it, but the scenario is so interesting, I want to bring it up to you. This is a hypothetical situation he told me happened to a friend of his. His friend bought a book on eBay, and the book was purchased from a seller out of the country. It happened to be Australia, but it doesn't really matter what country, except the fact that, as you know, shipping is very expensive. Okay? Now, I believe it was $100 with the shipping included. And it was supposed to be a rare first edition. So the guy pays with PayPal, gets the book, and the seller scammed him. He sent him a book other than what the guy bid on. Let's say he sent him a 10-cent comic book. So the guy goes ahead and he opens a claim with PayPal, and PayPal says, okay, we'll give you the money back, but you got to ship the book back. The problem is, shipping the book back to Australia was a lot of money. So if the guy had shipped it back, he still would have lost out. Do you see my point? And this is very interesting, and we need to discuss this part, because who's wrong and who's right? Well, from the evidence that was presented to me from this subscriber of mine, the bidder did nothing wrong. He bid on an item that should have come as described, he paid for it, and he got dicked by a bad seller. What can we do about this? Well, guys, there are two answers. I thought long about this one. The first one is a cop-out. And that's basically what I'm doing when I sell on eBay. And I mean no disrespect to those of you guys who live out of the USA, but I do not buy or sell internationally. Because, I'll be honest with you, I've been stung. I've been stung as a buyer, and I've been stung as a seller. Okay? There is no way to get around it. But let's talk about it for the purpose of you guys who really do sell a lot of stuff and buy a lot of stuff out of the country. I've come up with this idea. This is what I think eBay should do. This is not a PayPal problem. This is really an eBay problem. I think on all out-of-the-country auctions, two things should happen. When you're reading the auction, just looking at it, there should be a red disclaimer from eBay that says, "Dear bidder, please note that this seller lives in a country other than where you live. The shipping costs to this country are quite expensive. You may want to keep that in mind should a problem arise and you have to send the item back." Doesn't that sound like a good idea? But I want to go further. In addition, let's say the person reading the auction is okay with that. Or maybe they don't even read it, because half the people don't read. Let's say they go ahead and click buy it now or bid, either one. When they go to confirm their bid, they get another drop-down screen that they actually have to agree to. And it's in red lettering. Dear bidder, by clicking this button, you are confirming that you know you are buying an item from out of the United States and that the shipping to this country is quite expensive. Should a problem arise and you have to send the item back, you are responsible for the shipping, and you have to agree to that. Now, you're probably saying, well, Joe, that sounds great if the seller is, an honest guy. But suppose the seller's a scammer. Well, guys, seriously, you got to check the feedback on these overseas sellers, all right? Now, a lot of them have a feedback that looks good, like, 99, let's say. But then when you click on it, you see like 200 negatives, even though they have like 2,000 positives. A lot of these big box overseas sellers are doing it, especially out of Taiwan. So that is the only answer I can see to this quandary. What to do about this overseas crap. Personally, like I said to you, I cop out. I am not dealing overseas. I don't buy and I don't sell. I see a lot of items I'd like to buy, but not only is the shipping expensive, but like my subscriber said, suppose something goes wrong and you have to ship it back. You, the buyer, must pay. All right? I think eBay needs to educate the people a little more about the fact that they have to watch out for overseas scammers and that they have to pay the shipping back. I don't see this as a PayPal problem per se. However, However, like somebody wrote to me today, and she said about PayPal always taking the buyer's side. She's right. They do. They always have. I have been saying PayPal has improved. And they have. But I never said that they are always taking the seller's side. I haven't never said that. I said they improved as far as fraud is concerned. When I talk about fraud, let me clarify. I mean when you're opening a PayPal account and maintaining a PayPal account. That kind of stuff. Verifications and all that. That they have improved. I'm not saying that they're in love with sellers. I love them to be in love with sellers. And the climate is changing, but it's going to take time. But that was the gist of the 3 or 4 negative comments I got on the video the other day about PayPal taking the seller's side. So here's what I want you to do, especially to you 3 guys, or gals as the case may be. Please, I'm not being disrespectful, I'm not being mean. If you have been a victim, I don't care if it was a bad buyer or a bad seller, either one, substantiate it. Tell me the name. It's not hard to do. Tell me the eBay user ID or even the item number. It's not hard. I asked 3 or 4 people this week. Hey, I said, they came up with some good stories. I said, all right. I said, I'm going to address this in the video. But nobody could come up with any user IDs or names. I'm not saying this stuff didn't happen. What I am saying, and I'm going to put this out there again, I'm interested in my subscribers. I'm interested in you. If something has happened to you, I want to try and help you if I can. I am not interested in your best friend's girlfriend's boss at work. He's not my subscriber. You're my subscriber. If you have any first-hand problems, I'd be more than happy to help you, or try, or at least give you publicity. That I can do. For instance, like I said, if you have a bad buyer that bids on your item, does a buy it now, and refuses to pay, link me. Tell me the guy's user ID or the auction number, and I'll look into it. Wake him up a little. That's my point. I'm here for you guys. All right? As far as other comments, no, that was basically it. There's still a pretty big anti-PayPal crowd. And one more thing. A few people have said that I'm getting special treatment by PayPal. And that is not the case. As you know, PayPal never contacted me in any way before I went to eBay on location, and I've had this channel since 2007. So you guys, you say that I have all this power and this clout and this exposure. I don't, because up till eBay on location, nobody cared about me. Right? Think about it. Go back and look at my old videos. PayPal never called me, never contacted me, nothing. And I'm not knocking them for it, not at all. What I'm saying is I'm the guy. Not only did I make the videos, I got off my duff, I drove down to Philly, and I had a meeting with these guys. After the meeting, that's when things started turning around. You do a face-to-face with people, it means a lot. Okay? There's a few people that really don't like that fact. And I'm not sorry I did it, I'm glad I did it. Going to eBay on location was the best thing I ever did. I made a lot of good friends down there. That's why I say to you guys, if it comes around your way, go to it. Especially you guys who are complaining about the PayPal problems, because the PayPal reps will be there and they can go online and look at your case right away. Another guy wrote to me, speaking about international sellers, he bought some old coins. Paid with PayPal. And the guy who he bought them from sent him junk. You know, coins that were worthless. And he's telling me that PayPal sided with him, the buyer, and that he did not have to send the coins back. That's an example of a case-by-case basis, because as you know, normally you have to send the item back. Alright? But in this case, he didn't have to. It would have cost him a lot of money to send those coins to the scammer overseas. This is a true comment. If you dispute anything I'm telling you, look at the comments from last Friday's video and you'll see who commented what. And you'll notice that I responded to a lot of comments last week, especially the ones that were complaining about PayPal and my relationship with Same. I often wonder why some of you guys don't make videos. You know, I admit I don't know all of you really as good as I should. So after a few of the comments last week, I went to some of your channels to see who I was dealing with. I couldn't find a single one that had any videos of themselves. Not a single one. And it's sad. You're doing yourselves a disservice. If you have something to say, trust me. Say it. People will respect you for it. Sure, you'll get some haters. I get them too. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. The point is, I'm trying to do some good. I think I'm doing some good out there. So yeah. So that basically takes care of last week's video. Let's move on now really quick. Because as you know, I have one more video coming out this week, and that's the shout out to you guys, the thank you video, which I'm still working on. That'll be out in a couple of days. But for all intents and purposes, this is my last eBay and PayPal video for the year 2012. What do I see happening in 2013? Well, I would like to see eBay be a little stricter with both buyers and sellers. Buyers should have to pay for all their items, period. Sellers should have to send the item in the picture as described. If a problem does arise, the buyer should not automatically win. I am mostly a seller on eBay, all right? I do buy too, but I'm mainly a seller. So it's in my best interest to look out for sellers' rights. There are bad buyers out there, and there are bad sellers. I would like to know your thoughts and what you think the weaknesses of eBay are right now, and what you'd like to see changed in 2013. I myself would love to be able to leave negative feedback for deadbeat bidders. And it's so easy to do. If a guy bids on your item and pays for it with PayPal or ProPay, automatically he's paid, he should be covered. You can't neg that guy. So guys, I'm hoping 2013 is going to be a good year for you guys selling on eBay. I had a pretty decent year myself as far as selling. I didn't have any real problems per se. Oh, I mean, I had deadbeat bidders. I had a ton of deadbeat bidders. Ton of them. But, like I said in my last video, that was back when I was not taking PayPal. Given the climate, there is no reason at all for anyone not to pay me now. I take PayPal. That used to be their main complaint. So, that's why I'm really, really, really not tolerant of any deadbeat bidders now. I was never all that tolerant of them when I didn't take PayPal, but now that I take it, there's no excuse. Do you realize, guys, I've been on eBay since '99, and I have never, ever backed out on paying for an item in all those years, and I can substantiate that. And that's keeping in mind a fact that there were a couple of times when I bid on an item and I was misled by the seller. And this is something still going on. I read about this in the Facebook groups the other day. Let me just tell you this quick story if you don't mind. Have any of you ever seen an auction that has a picture of about 4 or 5 items? Now it could be anything. It happens in eBay Motors a lot with the hubcaps. It happens with the Hess toy trucks. A person will say something like, Chevy hubcaps, cheap. And you'll see like $10. And you'll see 4 hubcaps in the picture. Hey, that's a good deal. You click on the item, and it's not a quantity auction. It clearly says, you know, hi, I have Chevy hubcaps for sale, good condition, $10. Hey, wow, $10, man, this is a great deal. And then at the very bottom in small lettering, he'll say, note, I am selling these separately. You're only getting one. If you want to buy more, contact me when you win. That is against eBay rules. You're allowed to sell quantity auctions, but you're not allowed to sell that way. That is not the way to do it. There's this one guy that's been doing it repeatedly on eBay. And I've seen it in the toy category too, but it's not as bad, where they'll have a bunch of Hess toy trucks lined up. You think you're getting the whole lot. Well, anyway, as I was saying, a couple of times during my early eBay days, I fell for that. And in each case, even though the guy was unscrupulous about it, I manned up and I paid. And I took the one item and I paid for it, because even though he was a misleading seller, I was just as stupid for not reading that last line, and I always man up and pay for my mistakes. Nobody's 100%. All right? I screwed up. I should have read that little bottom line. I didn't. I learned. It happened to me 2 or 3 times, and I finally committed that to memory. I definitely checked the auction carefully. But all right, guys, I'm going to bring this to a close now. I had a good year with you guys. I hope you enjoyed my videos. And I hope you'll stay with me for 2013. Remember, I call it as I see it, with eBay and PayPal. All right? I know there's a few people out there that don't like the fact that I am taking PayPal. I mean, I don't have a choice, guys. I need to make money. I need PayPal. I'm not sorry I'm taking it. No, I'm not looking... No, I have no remorse. I'm glad I'm taking it. Do I think they favor buyers? Yeah, I do. Would I like to see them examine everything case by case? Heck yeah, I sure would. But let's give them a chance. They've had problems in the past, yes. I don't dispute that. And there's still bad sellers out there that know how to exploit PayPal. Yes, agreed with that. That's why I'm trying to knock down those sellers, those unscrupulous sellers. All right? I don't want them out there any more than you do. So if you run across one, I want the information. I'm here to help, or I'm trying to anyway. At least give me that much. At least, please agree that I'm at least trying to be helpful here. Not looking to hurt anybody, unless they're looking to hurt you. I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. I'll have another video, shout out to you guys out in a couple of days. Thanks for making it a great and fun year. Hope to see you guys in 2013. Bye.